So the next one is on the agile values again. So let's see the next question. A team looked at stories priorities for the sprint and feels it can take only 8 out of the 10 stories. The product owner wants all the stories to be done because he has an internal demo with the marketing team. The discussion remains deadlocked for several minutes. What is the best way for the Scrum Master to deal with this? So it depends upon the role you're going to attend interview. It is not only for the Scrum Master. You might be doing any role, right? So you might be as a team lead, or development lead, or test lead. How you can accommodate all these 10 stories, right? So how you would react to this situation? Yeah. So again, this question is related to the responding to change, the collaboration activities that we need to do in alignment with the expectation of 10 stories to be picked up. And so we might need to do the facilitation. Facilitation is nothing but the Scrum Master needs to enable a meeting between the product owner and the team to make both understand how this can be achieved. So let's see how you can answer this question. Okay. The Scrum Master should understand the root cause of the deadlock. So first and foremost is the point that you need to understand why there is a deadlock. So there was a prioritization meeting. The team looked at all the tasks that they need to pick up, and they said that they can pick up only 8 out of 10, right? So the possible explanations could be why the team was unable to pick up, and why the product owner is insisting to be picking up all the 10 because he has a internal demo with the marketing team, right? So uh, the product owner has a pressure from the marketing team because the marketing team works closely with the sales team to launch the product. So they might have another internal demo from marketing team with a sales team. So they have to deliver all the 10 stories. That is a situation here. So the both the parties, the product owner and the team, they both argue from their standpoint, which ends up in the deadlock. So if you are in the Scrum Master position, then if you are attending the interview for the Scrum Master, then you need to answer this question from the Scrum Master standpoint, saying that you will try to understand the root cause, why there is a deadlock, why there is a tit between the team and product owner. Okay, so you will try to understand the situation first, and then you will facilitate a discussion between the team and the product owner. So as a Scrum Master, the primary activity is facilitating the discussions between the stakeholders who is involved. So here the stakeholders are the team and the product owner. So you would facilitate a meeting or a discussion to help them to understand each other's perspective. As I said, the product owner has pressure from the marketing team. He has to give a demo for all the 10 stories, whereas the Scrum team feels that the development team feels that they cannot deliver all the 10 stories, right? So if you're a team lead, how you would explain your situation to the product owner or Scrum master? So that would be expected out of you during the interview, right? So the here we will take the same scenario as the Scrum master. He has to help the team and product owner to focus on the specific stories that are causing the deadlock, that we say that we are unable to meet the timelines in the current sprint itself. And then we can suggest some options. So the Scrum Master, he cannot take decisions on behalf of the team or product owners, but he can suggest the options in hand. Okay, so how we can reprioritize these stories? As I said earlier, we do have this Moscow method. So what is the one that is must have, should have, and we could have, and we won't have, or we would have in the future, right? So out of these 10 stories, if any of those falls in the won't have in the current sprint for demo or something like that, then we can push it to the next sprint. The product owner can further discuss it with the marketing team. So we can reprioritize these stories if it is possible. And then we can break down all the 10 stories into smaller units, which is easily manageable task by the individuals in the team. And so the story might needs to be further explained to the team members so that they can understand it better, and they would feel confident when it is further drilled down by task, and then they can feel that okay, I can pick up this task, I can deliver it. So everyone can come forward and then they can commit what they can deliver when it is a more manageable task than a complex user story, right? And then we can defer some stories to the later sprint. As I said, if it is falls on the won't have or the could have future of the prioritization of these 10 stories, then we can defer it, saying that we can take it in the later sprint. The product owner can go and convince the marketing team as well if he agrees to that point. And then we need to see how we can encourage the team and product owner to compromise, right? So it's not very easy to compromise both the parties. At least we can try to compromise one of them to understand the other one, right? So here the Scrum Master should encourage both the parties to compromise and to find a solution that is fair to both, right? The product owner and the team. And then the Scrum Master should help the team and the product owner to focus on the benefits of finding a solution rather than on the cost of not finding a solution. So if we keep on arguing, it's going to be a never-ending discussion, and it's going to waste everyone's time. So finding a solution is most important than arguing their standpoint, right? So the Scrum Master should encourage the team and product owner to compromise and to find a solution. So the next one is we need to be very patient as a Scrum Master or product owner, or it's just for everyone, right? So it takes time to make the people understand and agree on an situation or solution. So the Scrum Master or the team lead, whoever is taking care of the situation, they should be patient enough and help the team and the product owner to find a solution that works for everyone, that is fair to everyone, right? So you can say these are your tips to handle the situation as a Scrum Master or whatever the role you are applying for. You can explain your standpoint. And there are few more tips how you can explain further or add value to your answer during the interview. So we need to be respectful to the teams and product owners' perspectives, their opinions. So we need to understand that first as a Scrum Master, right? So they do have their own perspective. They might have some valid reasons behind it. So as a product owner, I might feel that I need to go back to the marketing team. I may not be able to convince them because they have already told me that this is very critical. They need all these 10 stories. At the same time, from the development team's perspective, they feel that it's not quite possible to accommodate all the 10. So we need to respect both the parties and their perspectives. And as a Scrum Master or as a mediator, we should be neutral. We should not take any sides in the deadlock. So we should not be in favor of the product owner or the team. We should be neutral. And we should be persistent as well. So the Scrum Master should not give up on helping the team and product owner to resolve the deadlock. The Scrum Master should continue to facilitate the discussion and to help the team and the product owner to find a solution. So until otherwise we find a solution, the discussion is not going to be over. So we need to see how soon or how quick we can achieve a solution, how we can make them understand and agree on a solution. So we should be persistent. We should not give up on helping the team or the product owner. So we should not feel frustrated or irritated. So we should be patient enough. We should be persistent to help them to get the work done. Okay, let's move on to the next question. A team is planning a release. There are 10 team members and 6 months, about 10,000 working hours for the release. The team estimates the backlog in ideal hours, which is about 800 hours. The team feels confident that they can accomplish this work. The Scrum Master asks the team and the product owner to review their assumptions and check again before making the commitment. Why is the Scrum Master doubtful? So they might ask you, if you're a Scrum Master and if the team says that they can complete the work in 800 hours, but it's a 6 months project. So what you would do as a Scrum Master, right? So the estimate of 800 is ideal hours. It's not working hours, but we are talking about 10,000 working hours or 6 months period, right? And there are 10 team members. Okay, so The Scrum Master should be doubtful about the team's ability to accomplish the work in 800 hours, because the estimate is based on ideal hours, not actual hours. The ideal hours or the amount of time it would take to complete a task if everything went peacefully, right? Perfectly. There is no challenges, no hiccups, no issues, nothing has been anticipated or happened, then it is okay. But in reality, whenever we pick up a task, we might have some challenges in completing it, right? There might be some dependency, there could be some hiccups where you might need someone's help. So that is what we need to take account of as well, right? The team has 10 members, but not all of them will be working on the project full time. So it could be a project where the team members might be working on other projects in parallel, other activities in parallels, right? So if they do have other commitments, and or if they go on a leave, if there is unplanned vacation, something like that, right? Sick leaves, whatever it could be, then they may not take all the 10 members are available, right, to complete the work, right? So we need to take all these things into consideration. And the team is planning to complete the release in 6 months, but this may not be enough time. So just considering the ideal hours of 800, considering a 6 months period, we may not be able to complete the work in 6 months also, right? Because of the reasons that we have said already. There might be some challenges that we did not predict or we did not anticipate, and there could be some unplanned leaves, it could be sick leave or some family vacation due to some emergencies that the team members might need to travel. So when he or she goes on leave, how it is going to be handled, all those things, it may make it not feasible to achieve in 6 months also, right? So the Scrum Master is right in this situation. Okay, so if you are answering from the other standpoint as a product owner or a product manager, or if you're applying for a developer or a tester role, so you need to say that the Scrum Master is right, and the Scrum Master obviously would ask the team and product owner to review the estimates, and the assumptions has to be cleared out. So as a team member or as a developer, team lead, product owner, architect, I would help the Scrum Master further explaining the realistic estimates and whether we do have enough time or not to complete the work. So that is how you would be answering this question. And there are some additional tips if you are the applying for the Scrum Master, how you can handle this question, how you can explain further. So, as a Scrum Master, you will help the team to understand the difference between ideal hours and actual hours, right? The team need to be aware of the fact that there will be unforeseen challenges, delays that will add to the amount of time it takes to complete a task. So, the Scrum Master has to help the team to estimate the amount of time that each team member will be able to dedicate to the project, and they need to know I have committed for these many days, so in turn I need to be available at this time when there is a requirement for me to perform my task or to start my task or to complete my task. I should be available. So it will help the team also to know, the individual team members also know that their importance in that project, right? And then it will help the team to create a realistic timeline for the release. So we said that it's going to be a 6 months project release. So after the 6 months, we have to release it to the market. It should be ready for selling it on the to the public, right? So these are the things, as a Scrum Master you'd be doing it, how you'd be handling the situation. So you can remember these points during the interview to answer that. I would encourage the team to give some realistic commitment to avoid the scope creep. So scope creep is nothing but if you are having a scope, you should be able to deliver all of them. Scope creep is nothing but you are unable to deliver a few of the scope that you have committed for that 6 months project, or you are adjusting the scope itself to complete some, to postpone some, to be delivered after the 6 months. That is what we call it as the scope creep. So as a Scrum Master, you are trying to avoid that scope creep. Yeah. So the next one is on the estimation technique. So the team was using planning poker technique to estimate for the first time. The process was taking a very long time. They found that each member was estimating the stories only from their perspective. So this could be the development team, testing team, database team, or any other team involved in that activity. Okay, as a scrum master, how would you handle it? Or if you're a development lead or test lead or database admin, how would you handle the situation? It could be, that's how it will be personalized. This scenario would be personalized to your job role. Okay, so let's see the answers from the scrum master standpoint. And as a scrum master, we need to educate the team, right? So first and foremost, we need to explain the purpose of using the planning poker, right? Why we use it and how it is used. So the scrum master needs to explain the purpose of doing the planning poker session to estimate the amount of work they need to perform, right? That is the first and foremost thing. And then the scrum master needs to help the different perspective, right? So when there are multiple teams involved, the tester might comment that I would be able to complete this work in 1 day, but is it ready for me to test it? Yeah. So the developer has to say that I would be taking 2 days for me to deliver this, and then the tester can say that I would take 1 day to do this, and then the database administrator can say that yeah, these are the activities that I have to do. So I might need another half a day. So that's how we estimate the amount of work that we need to perform. So the Scrum Master needs to help the team to understand the different perspectives, right? So understanding each other's perspective will help the team to better estimate the efforts for each activity that they need to perform, right? And the Scrum Master has also need to encourage the team to collaborate, right? So here, if I just think from only the development standpoint, I might not see the big picture on the testing side and the other dependencies on the database to be available for me. All these things are there, right? So we need to collaborate with others who are involved, right? Who are all the parties involved in delivering a task, right? So we need to collaborate with all of them. We need to discuss with them. We need to share the knowledge, right? What I would do, what are all the things I need to perform in order to complete it. So these are the requirements for me in order to deliver this work. So we need to encourage the team to collaborate on that standpoint. And the Scrum Master is always a facilitator. So if the team is struggling to come to a common ground to understand the requirement and to use the planning poker to estimate, so the Scrum Master act as a facilitator to help a discussion around the point where the confusion is. Yeah, he has to be very patient enough to make the team understand how to get used to the planning poker, so he can give them some games around it to use more frequently, how it can be done during their leisure time or during their weekends, how they can get to know about the planning poker. You can share some internal learning materials or the external reference links to go through and learn about it. So he has to facilitate those sort of learnings as well, right? So in this situation, as it's happening during a planning meeting, so he needs to see how he can be patient enough to facilitate a discussion among the team members to collaborate and to share their knowledge, to understand the different perspectives so that they can come to a common agreement on the planning poker session, right? So, yeah, these are the things that we need to keep in mind while answering this question during an interview. So, again, the estimate is just an estimate. It's not a actual, or it is not precise, right? So we need to say that it's just an estimate. It is not accurate number or the actual number. That's how it's going to be. There might be times where we can estimate something for 4 days, we would be able to complete in 3 days also. But there might be some times when it is estimated just for 4 days, but we might be taking more than 7 days also to complete that work. So during those sort of situations, we should be transparent and we should communicate with all the stakeholders involved. Yeah. Okay. So the next one is on the team's velocity. Team's velocity for the past 5 sprints was 45, 55, 63, 38, and 57. The customer wanted a commitment at 90% confidence level about when the team can finish a fixed set of stories or fixed set of tasks, which of these velocity values should be used? So the velocity is nothing but what you have completed during your last month, the previous month, and the month before. Likewise, for the, say for an example, this is the data for last 5 months, right? And your sprint is of 1 month length, so it will be 5 month, right? So end of the fifth month, this is your numbers. So the customer is asking you now that there are some fixed set of questions for you to complete, some activities you have to deliver, and in order to deliver it, what is your real-time commitment? How much time you need? So he's not asking 100% confident about that, but let's be realistic. Let's have some 10% of risk involved. What is the 90% confidence level to commit to these fixed set of stories to be delivered, right? So how we would do the estimation of the velocity values that we need to use among these five different values. Based on that, we are going to commit for the sixth sprint or for the another five sprints, upcoming sprints. Okay. So now it's given that customer is asking at 90% confidence level. So that's the one we are going to calculate. So it's always estimated based on the average velocity of what we have done so far. Here we do have five sprints data. So we are going to take a average of those five sprints value and two standard deviations above the or below the average velocity. Yeah. So the average velocity is 52 points from the five values that we have got. So we will accumulate all of these. We will sum up all these five values and divide it by 5. So we get 52. And the standard deviation are 62 and 42 story points. That is the maximum the team can deliver is 62. The least the team will deliver is 42. So this is how we estimate that. And so if the customer is asking for the 90% chance, we can say that our team would stand somewhere between 62 and 42. Yeah. So here if we say that okay, now we do have close to 250 story points to be delivered, then we will deliver divide it by 42 and we'll say that okay, we might take up to five sprints again to deliver 250 story points or